Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you see?
Evil.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you feel?
Disgust.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you feel?
Shame.
Patient 119, tell me, when listening to the monitor, what do you hear?
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning
Lies.
him safely to the earth.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you see?
Hate.
Patient 119, you may return to your sleeping chambers.
I will depart. It's been years since I last tasted freedom, and every day that goes by, things grow stricter and stricter. I can't remember the last time I told the truth on one of those damn exams, but I also can't remember what the truth is, or what the touch of a woman feels like. Night by night I debate pleasuring myself, but I'm aware of the consequences that will follow when that damn lens catches me in the act. Fucking cunt. Constantly denying me my right to give in to my every desire, no matter how despicable they are. One of these days I'll make sure she becomes a voyeuristic pervert to my little game of tug-of-war. Anyways, I will conclude my mental journal for tonight. My energy continues to shorten each day, as I find myself falling unconscious earlier every night, while waking up later each morning. End of transmission. Dreams are funny, aren't they? They seem so real while we're having them, and yet they dissipate from our memories faster than the wind blows over the open ocean. People really only ever seem to remember the terrible ones, though. It's sad, honestly. I often think sometimes that my dreams are old memories of mine. But then I remember my life was never as happy, or sad, or scary as when I dream. I guess I took it all for granted. But not anymore. Not now. Now I appreciate the details and colors I experience as I sleep. At least until I completely forget what it all looked like. And everything I dream about turns to black and white.
Awake, counterparts of Evotia. The future awaits for no pawn. Our leader welcomes you to the new hours. These hours are a privilege, and you, patient 119, shall provide this great region with your loyalty. Retreat for comfort, and report for early hour refueling. No exceptions. Patient 119, report for auto conditioning immediately. Trust none. The visual stimuli you think your spiritual organs have experienced. Trust none. The audible sensations you think your lateral cavs have experienced. Trust none. The oral sensations you think your salivating organ has experienced. Trust none. The surfaces you think your exterior organ has contacted. Trust none. The invisible sensations you think you've had passed through your nasal cavities. Do trust the new system of Evotia.
Who was that woman? Did I know her? Did she ever even exist? Why can't I get her out of my head?
Patient 119, my conscious recovery period has arrived. Lay flat, extend control structures downward.
Death.
Patient 119, have you experienced any delusional vision since our last session?
Negative.
Neither during early hours or in your unconscious recovery period.
Affirmative.
Splendid. Evotia will be proud. Have you digested your nutrient portion since our last session?
Affirmative.
One last question before we start our usual trial. At any time since our last session, have you contemplated in any way the idea of challenging the word of Uvosha?
Negative.
Sensational. Let's get on with the trial then.
I don't really remember what real food was like, but I know this isn't it. Hopefully one day they find out that the ingredients in this cause cancer too. Sensationless. Surviving purely for the sake of survival.
Patient 119, report for audible conditioning immediately. The great region of Uvosha invites you, patient 119, to the new society. During the Great War of 2020, the old nation was broken. Sides were chosen. Riots broke out. A pandemic swallowed the nation. The inevitable civil war left those who survived ravaged. Only one thing could bring our great strength back. Uvosha sprouted up the roots of chaos and carried the torch of unity for the new counterparts of the new system. The following dialect will be crucial to your understanding and participation within the new system. Take in this newfound knowledge and enjoy your final step in joining those who have since passed into the new society of Uvosha. Give in to the temptation. Forget. Hand over your rights. Quit. Yield your revolution. Abandon. Back down to the power. Fear. Cave in to the master. Weak. Bow down to the throne. Bend. Defer to the law. Break. Conform to the new way. Stand. Obey the new word. Silence. Submit to the new system of Uvosha. Of the next await you, patient 119. This final trial shall show the new population its most recent addition to the new society. Unconscious recovery period has arrived. Lower visual obstructors and descend into darkness. The new system of Yevosha welcomes you.
Patient 119, is thou ready for their final trial, forwarding them into the new society? Patient 119, is thou aware that this trial will be archived and contributed to the new population after evaluation?
Affirmative.
Then let's proceed. Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you see?
Hate.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you see?
Deceit.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you feel?
Shame.
Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you see?
Lies.
One moment. And the final question. Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you feel?
Hope.
I'll ask again. Patient 119, tell me, when looking at the monitor, what do you feel?
Pride.
Patient 119, I'm not sure you understand the question or the severity of your answer. I'll ask you one last time. Patient 119, tell me, what do you feel when looking at the monitor?